All right, Mr. Christopher, what is happening here?
Wow.
We're in December. It's got cold. Chris has got
Cold,
this
wow,
cold weather,
I can't
huh?
believe it. It was so hot this year that you would swear that we were in the tropics.
Oh my God, I mean 95, 98 degrees, you're out there on the water and it's like just a steam bath. It's 198 it feels like. But it finally, we got our first cold front came through, it cooled off nice. I think, what is it, about 70 out today?
I don't know, I woke up to 52 this morning. I was like, wow, now that's what I'm talking about.
But it was not, I was actually going to go fishing this morning. Ernie sent me this awesome popper here. Look
Wow,
at this.
thanks, Ernie.
Yerpel, thank you, sir. And I was going to take this sucker out today, but the cold front went through. Chris was like, you better give it a day or two. You know, the fishing's pretty bad after the fronts pass through. So I figured, I'll wait a day or so and we'll head out. But what do you think, buddy? I got a cobia, you got a cobia, you got big snook. Been a great snook season.
Well, you know what? We've had a sort of a slow one because of all the water.
Well, yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we're moving into a spot now. These snook are starting to bunch up, aren't they?
They're getting hungry, and there's some big snook out there.
Wow. I spotted, you'll see the picture of what, I'm sure Frankie will post the picture, but I spotted this snook cruising. There was probably 6 or 7 of them cruising along the edge of the bushes. We anchored up, threw into the area.
Yep.
My buddy hooks up with a redfish, nice, big, quality, 26 inchers.
Beautiful.
6+ pound.
Now you're playing back on the west wall again?
We were on the west wall. I hate to tell you guys, but it's me. West wall of the Myakka cutoff.
West wall,
It's like home to me.
it's getting cleaner. I was out there. It was a little bit windy when I went out.
Still looks pretty dirty, guys.
But well, you get further down toward the midpoint and the south end of the west wall. As you get closer to Placido, the cleaner it gets.
Not as dirty. How about that? We'll give it that.
But the river's giving up salt water now, so we're getting a little bit saltier in the river. So the fishing, the snook around the Myakka cutoff,
It's
big ones,
all
some
heating
juvies,
up.
a lot of big ones in the canals.
Well, look at the size of that snook that we're showing the picture of. This thing was 38 inches, okay?
Big snook.
And it was only 17 pounds. So they're not eating yet. They're hungry. That stomach was, all drawn up. It wasn't all big and fat like it should be.
The fat snook did this spring when the water started flowing. They were eating the tilapia on the washouts coming over here in 41. They get the frogs, the tilapia, all kinds of food was coming down, and they were really eating a lot and they were fat. But without that flow of water coming down from the rivers, of course, they're scrounging for food
Well,
now.
I think
They're
that
back
these
out there on the
snook might be
flats.
pushing in from the beaches that I'm seeing. I really believe that these
Beach
snooks
snook
are
on.
these are beach snook coming down to go back into their haunts again, because they always come into the rivers and to your little points and stuff along the way to the river. It's where your snook are gonna hang.
And it's true. I was out there. Chris gave me a great spot. He gave me a spot over there by Trout Creek to try, and he's exactly what he says. As that water starts flowing out of Trout Creek, I was on the corner of it, hooked up on a couple of nice redfish there. And it's where you find that water flow coming out of the creeks. It's where
It's
you're gonna
all
find
about the
redfish
move.
and
It is
stuff.
definitely about the movement. And look around for a couple hints while you're out there. I was looking for schools of mullet. And did you not notice the big schools of mullet, right? Moving very, very out of the
schools
water.
of everything.
They're flipping out of the water. They're moving it. You could just set your boat down and sit there. Don't make any noise, and they'll just come right to you. And as they come to you, cast toward the back of the school, because that's where them reds and coves. I seen a big cove tail come out of the middle of one of those schools that was like this, and that cove tails. We had one of those happen here.
I tell you what, even in the canals now, I was using the Loxahatchee Walker made by Impact Lures, and the same color, Yerpel, and I was working the canal system, and it works just like a baby mullet feeding. Again, mullet.
Boink,
And it's
boink,
don't get
boink,
walls, and it looks
boink.
like the mullet feed that way. And of course, within a couple of seconds, I start walking it across those mangrove line, and the cobia comes up. You'll see the video, and just tears it up. I had no idea I could get a cobia in there on top water.
Oh, that was nice.
And it was fun.
He surprised me, because I thought he was just pulling my leg. Because we were supposed to meet up in the morning. I'm like, where you been, Frank?
Chris don't believe nobody ever.
But no, I just thought he was pulling my leg. He's like, I got a big old huge cobia. And I'm like, yeah, and then all of a sudden, whoop, out of the cooler comes. I'm like, whoa.
I sent him the pictures like, but where's the video? He wasn't sure if I caught it on the lure yet. You knew I had it.
I didn't have the video, the pictures, because in the cutoff sometimes that stuff don't come
Yeah,
through.
it's true, yeah.
I wasn't getting connection till he pulled that fish out of the box. I had no clue he caught a cobia.
Yeah, that was it.
No,
It was an
I had
awesome
no
fish.
clue.
But again, I was in Alligator Bay working the canal systems in Alligator Bay around Port Charlotte Beach. This time of year when you start getting those low tides and those negative tides, everything gets bottlenecked into the canals and into the creek, flows. And you got to get in there, and get the fish. That's where the cobia are. That's where the redfish are.
We talked about this already about the cobies. Cobies comes in around this time of year, and they start hitting the long docks, the points, the markers. They go by and they're just looking for crabs, and they're looking for things that are hanging on these markers and these docks and stuff. And you'll see them cruising. It looks like a shark fin going down the water. I mean,
on the flats, it's easy to spot them on the flats. The canals, it's a little bit tougher. Now on the canals, and I'm finding very quickly with the cobia, is they're hanging out on the ledges. So generally when I'm fishing for snook and I'm up underneath the mangroves and thrown under the mangroves, I happened to throw the length of the mangroves and came around a little bend, and when I was out there a little bit, maybe about 10, 15 yards off the shoreline, that's when the cobia nailed it. So
they're awesome, guys.
They're just big, beautiful fish.
We catch a lot of snook, and the snook are great fights. I mean, they're world-class fighters. I mean, they're right there. Tarpon, cobia, and snook are right there. And then we got our redfish, and not to mention jacks. Oh my gosh, we catch jacks all the time, and these things are...
I'll tell you what, I got a great video. I'll run it now, and Chris was just talking about the mullet running on the flats and seeing the schools of them just moving. And I was moving across the Mayaca Cutoff. It was real windy. I got in there just to hide from the wind. Wasn't a whole lot of bite, a lot of juvie snook, but there were these big jacks running around the flats there. So I went, you know what, forget this. I threw my lines at you. No, actually it was a 222. Daniel's Deceiver 222T in there.
There you go.
And boom, I mean, I got a couple of big, beautiful jacks out of there. But you'll see in the video, there were probably 6 or 7 big schools of jacks working across the flats. Bait fish everywhere, mullet everywhere, jacks everywhere. I couldn't find the big reds.
But you can tell when the jacks are moving, guys. Everything in front of them is getting out of the way.
You got that right.
It's just a whole school of things going on.
Like piranha going through the water eating.
So everything, even crabs move. They're like,
oh, unbelievable. But yeah, again, they're a lot of fun to catch. If you got a smoker, smoke them. They're great to smoke and make dip with or eat them. I like to eat them smoked.
Bring them by Frankie's. He'll eat them.
It's better than eating the snook and the reds. Got to throw those back.
But listen, and there's also going to be another video on here of a red catch that we had on the backside of the Mayaca over there. I went out with my buddy Mayaca Brian. You'll see a nice snook that he caught this in the same sort of location over there. But we finally got to clean water. That was the key that day. We looked.
You were using crab though, weren't you? Were you using crab chunks? What were you using? Electric chicken?
Actually, I switched over using my yellow head, but I went with a longer body at Walmart. Obviously, the cheapest place in the world sells these Charlie's swim baits. They're green with like a red and black speck in them. Just decided to throw a bigger profile bait on, and third cast, bang.
Boom,
that's a 10-pound red, guys. And we talk about it. You'll hear that brand new Stratic screaming.
That drag sounds nice on that.
And then you guys didn't get it. I wish you would have had the video with the snook because, again, the Stratic screaming.
That's a nice setup. A matter of fact, I picked it up. I'm like, I can't believe how light this is. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It weighs nothing.
6 ounces. That thing is. I mean, the reel. Everything on the reel now is carbon fiber and put together, and they've learned from all their mistakes from the past. And this thing is a dream. It's gorgeous.
We're going to go back to the water, though. Keep in mind now we're in cold weather conditions. We're in the winter now.
My favorite.
We've got super low tides coming up, so you got to be careful if you like to sneak around.
You guys are going to be finding trout.
Oh, trout! I was getting trout the other day too.
You guys are going to be getting trout now.
We got big this year.
We haven't. Oh gosh! In just the day when we got the snook, I caught 4 trout that were I would have considered to be. What do they call that? Master class.
Big trout.
Big leg length.
I've got the video. You'll see it. Matter of fact, Chris was taking hooks out in the water and just letting them go.
So big.
They were big. He wasn't.
They were so big. I wasn't bringing them out of the water because I was like, man, these things are just monsters. They were nice trout.
So with the cooler water, the cooler weather, we got a red sun now. So we've got really some beautiful weather out there and pretty red sun. And it's really nice. It's good fishing. Now, if you're in the canals, what do you think now? Shrimp? What do you think?
Man, I tell you what. Me and Bill went out to go get some video. What day did we go? Monday night?
Was it?
Monday or Tuesday night last week. And man, I'm in love with Bill's boat now.
Oh, yeah. He's got the low tide.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a nice
low
boat.
Tide with the nice lights on it and the nice E-Tech on the back. Oh,
Nice.
And I got Yamaha love all over me. I mean, I love my Yamaha.
Oh, that boat's sweet. Yeah, the low tide is just a nice boat, and yeah, Bill decks it out. He's Bill, you know,
Just
he's
for
not gonna cut
hints and
corners.
giggles. Now my boat's for sale. I'm looking for a low tide. Anybody out there's got a low tide? My boat is definitely for sale now.
Sweet. Yeah, he does, but that's some good fishing. Now, you guys went out and had
We
to
went
make
down
out?
his canal, going around the lighted docks and
Oh,
the bridges
snook
and
running around
stuff.
there, yeah.
Seen a lot of snook, guys. It's a very, very good thing that we live where we live, because you can say all this about, oh, there's no snook to be caught. I am visually seeing more snook than I think I've seen in a long time.
Something you got to remember in the cold water. Now, I always say, you know, when I was in Pirate Harbor growing up, in the wintertime, especially if a freeze came, we go looking for snook, and back then it was legal to gig them. I mean,
Yeah,
they
I
were
was gonna say, they
plentiful
just
to get.
float up and just
They
sit
get so
there.
cold and they just sit on the banks. Now, in the wintertime, it's my habit, and that's why I'm glad I got this powder from Ernie today, is I slow these down big time
Reaction
on top water.
bites.
Slow down. And the slower the better. The fish are cold. They're not going to move that fast. They're not going to burn a lot of calories to get the bait. So if you're moving it quickly by them, they're going to go, goodbye, I'll wait for the next guy.
Here we go. That's the segue back into the snook story. Here we go. The snook.
Yeah.
Terry catches a redfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. It's 26 inches. I help him land it. It takes a few minutes, but in the midst, I'm fishing the 202 Daniels off the front. I put my rod in the rod holder. I help him land his fish. We get it all down. He's posing for the thing. My rod is on the front deck of my boat. I don't know if you guys have seen the video before. My boat is an aluminum boat, but it's got like a 4 or 5 foot front deck. He sits on the front deck to take the picture of this thing, and it must have made the front end go down. And it must have moved that lure just a little bit. But you talk about the ultimate rule and dead sticking it. I threw it up in there, twitch, and then put it in the rod holder, and then the commotion, landing the fish and stuff. This snook was probably sitting there looking at that thing going, I wonder if it's dead, or I wonder if it's the ultimate. This snook was so big, you'll notice in the picture, I'm on the floor with my knees, and I just pulled her up in my lap just a little bit because she was so big.
Yeah.
I didn't want to disturb her. I didn't want to try to pick her up. I didn't want to, and then I just took her from that position and just put her right back in the water.
Yep.
And it took me a couple minutes to revive her too, because
There's some big snook out
she
there.
slammed this thing. Okay, I'm taking the picture of Tare. I'm right here. I've got the
And
camera.
this lure's not moving.
Not moving. It's out there in the rod holder.
Lying there.
I'm taking the picture of him, and all of a sudden the rod in the back of his head just drops, and all of a sudden I see this big, humongous fish come up.
Yep.
And I'm thinking to myself, what? What's going on?
It's incredible. I mean, it really is. You know, I was fishing with, it's great fishing with Bill because I learned a lot. I was fishing with Bill one night, or one afternoon. We're out here off, I don't know if it was Shell Creek or somewhere up the river. But
Secret places.
well, Bill's telling me about doing the figure eight. He's like, you know, if you get a snook and he hits your lure and he doesn't, you know, necessarily grab it, he's usually going to follow it right to the boat. So if you keep the lure moving, you know he's there, he'll hit it. So it happened to us out there, and he's laughing. He goes, "Now watch," you know, and I'm just laughing. I thought, "No way!" And bam! That snook hits it, and he gets it on the
Lucky
right.
to break it. Well, he got flimsy poles too, so.
Well, you know, it was
Eyeball
on there. So
break.
now I'm out a week ago Sunday, and I'm fishing around Spring Lake and the waterways there, and there's a certain bend there that I like. That's a perfect spot set up for snook. And I cast out, and I'm slowing it down and coming around this tree hanging out. Big snook comes out like a ton of bricks from the side and just slams it. I miss the hit, and I go to pull it back. You know, the lure skips on the water a few feet, and I go, you know what? I'm going to listen to Bill. He says the snook's still under there. So I didn't reel it in to recap. I just waited, give it a little jerk. And then I guess he's not there. As soon as I looked away, bam! He hit the lure again on the boat. I mean, and again, I didn't give up. I assumed, Bill, you know what? He's probably right. I saw it happen. I'm going to play his game, and I did, and boom. And again, slow it down, and the snook does follow the lure. Now, there's a reason people wear cami on the water. Not everybody wants to look like a hunter or anything. They wear cami because the fish see you. And if they follow you to the boat and they see you, especially if you're wearing white, you look like a big white bird sitting there, they're going to split.
We've talked about this on my dock a million times, right? I got a dock where I feed the fish. They're my babies. I walk up there with this camouflage shirt. They don't move.
Yep.
I walk up with green. They don't move. I walk up there with white. You can't see a fish.
Yeah, they book.
I walk up there with red. They look and then they can't see them anymore. I walk up there with blues, with bright blues, not sort of sky blues, and they back off to about 5 feet.
They don't want to
It
see you
just tells
glowing.
me that. And listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're gonna see more pictures of me holding big fish in what color?
Sure, camo.
Camo.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, you gotta work the lure right to the boat. Don't give up. You know, keep working it.
I'm usually looking up, guys. That's why I don't see that fish hit. I'm looking up for my next spot.
That's
and
true.
I'm working the lure. I'm still working the lure, but I'm looking at my next spot going, where am I going to hit it? Where am I going to hit it? Where am I going to hit it? And I'm sort of paying attention, but I'm not. So if that snook is coming, he's coming.
The trick is don't overcompensate when the hit comes. So if you're not paying attention and the
Yeah.
hit comes and you freak out and jerk the lure out of his face, then you're gonna lose it.
If
So
you're
it's
watching
it's
it right by the
habitual.
boat, you're going to look,
You're
ah!
gonna lose it. But we got to wrap it up soon. I want to tell you quick, we're going to be having a great show here soon with Roger Newton down at Fine Bait and Tackle.
Nice.
Captain Roger does inshore fishing. He has a fishing charter business. We're going to be doing redfish, snook, trout, flounder, you know, whatever. Even just having a good time. We're going to go out and just...
It's on. Well, guys, with Roger, what you guys are going to realize in the wintertime, you guys are going to stop by and see Roger before you go out, because it's going to take you a little longer to get out on the water in the wintertime. You
Sure.
let it heat up, you know. You
Yeah.
don't go out till like 9, 10 o'clock, so you let the sun come out. But by then, you go by Roger's and you get you a nice little bait bucket full of those nice shrimp.
Yep, and
And
get
you
ready to
got
go.
yourself a lot better chance of bringing home some nice ones.
Roger, you know, great guy. They have Fine Bait and Tackle, so he's well equipped. He's ready to, you know, set you up. He's an outfitter. Also, Dwayne French, Captain
Yes.
Dwayne French, offshore, monstertarpon.com. Check him out. He's got a
Luxury.
41-foot hat.
Luxury, guys.
That's decked
Hey, listen,
out.
you're not coming back feeling like you're all beat up like some of these guys.
No, this is
They'll
like
run
a
you out there in a
freaking
21-foot boat.
Oh no, this is a 41-foot hatter. It's that is absolutely pimped out. A beautiful boat, air conditioning. It's got a center console. It's got a full galley, a full head. Sleeps I
Dwayne's
think
been on the
7 or 8.
water all of his life. He
Merchant
knows it.
Marine captain. He's a great guy. But yeah, we're going to be doing a show with Dwayne a couple of times a month, offshore fishing. So we'll have a report coming from out in the Gulf of Mexico, here in Charlotte Harbor. Me and Chris are still going to be
We're gonna
eating
get
the mangroves.
We're getting ready to give you guys a straight up report for our area, and you guys are going to be wanting to be here, be on Paradise.
And I'm bringing a fly fishing guy in just for the fun of it, because some people are into fly fishing. so
No,
we're
I
gonna have
know.
some fun
I
with
know
that.
quite a few people that like to fly fish. It's all about, you know, it's like golfing. You have to practice it, right? You practice it to get good at it, and you cuss while you do it. Most of you guys that fly fish.
We'll give it a golf clap then.
Oh yes.
A little golf tap.
It's on the drink side.
But you got to get out there and get fishing. Get out and get some shrimp. We've got Fine Bait and Tackle. You got Fishing Franks. You got Rio Villa Bait and
Yeah.
Tackle. Great places to stop and get bait, get
Great.
lures.
We're a great local spot, guys. You're gonna find when you come down here, there's lots of nice places that you can go fishing. There's not a lot of signs saying off limits, don't go there, don't park here, don't, you know. You got Paradise right here, and it's still not got the lock and key under it like a lot of places.
This is coming from a person whose favorite way to fish real expensive properties is to bounce the lure off the side of their yachts.
No, I would never do that.
So that the fish hear the lure really good.
Well, listen, I only do that in case they need a wake up.
Wow, that's just it.
You know.
Fish got to know you're there. But we're going to wrap it up, bud. I sure appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we'll get back to you guys in 2 weeks, and hopefully we'll have some great fishing video from Dwayne and Roger and me and Chris too.
That's
Y'all
right.
be good.
See you.
See ya.